We are going to look at Oompaville. And he says, why people can't go to Antarctica? My guess is they have aliens. There's no way. Like, why aren't you allowed to fly over it? They're hiding something over there.
There's a place on Earth that you're not allowed to go to. A continent that is larger than the United States and Mexico combined, where stepping foot there without permission can land you in prison. Can get you a good ass whooping. It's not a military base. It's not a government facility. It's an entire continent. It's Antarctica. And most people think it's just ice and penguins, empty, worthless, white. But if that's true, why does it cost tens of thousands of dollars and months of permits to just visit there? Why is it the only place on Earth?
They gotta make sure you don't take any pictures of the aliens, of the Jalorps that live there under the ice.
That is governed by an international treaty signed by 58 nations, me not being one of them. Why are vast sections of it blurred out on Google Earth? Why is that? Something is not adding up. I stink. I mean, I smell something that stinks. For over a century, explorers could visit Antarctica freely. Scientists mapped its coastlines, governments claimed territories, and even tourists just took...
That was before smartphones.
...expeditions there to explore. Then suddenly, in 1959, everything changed. The Antarctic Treaty locked down the entire continent under the most restrictive international agreement in human history. They say it's to keep you safe, because you'll die if you go there. But
I will say yes, probably. If you're trying to go there alone, you probably die.
Locking down the entire continent? That doesn't really make a lot of sense, man. That's overkill. That's bullshit. All right, homie? Harry the Rat says that's bullshit. Whatever's down there, whether it be treasure, technology, or some kind of truth that we're not...
Hitler's bunker.
...ready for, someone decided that the rest of us don't get to know. We don't get to know. I don't get to know. I get to speculate, and I get to talk about it and have a lot of fun talking about it, but... you know, you just watch this video. Anyways, buckle up. We're prying open the coldest lockbox on Earth. Antarctica.
I'm so scared right now.
First, let's start with mind-bending facts, okay? We're gonna be talking about speculative conspiracies in the next chapter. This one is facts that seem like speculative conspiracy.
I'm surprised YouTube hasn't flagged this for like misinformation.
In 1929, workers cleaning out an old Turkish palace made a bizarre discovery. Hidden in the archives was a map drawn in 1513 by Admiral Piri Reis. You've probably heard of him. He's very famous. It's not an obscure conspiracy document that's dated somewhere when it's not supposed to be dated and all that. It's real. It's in a museum, and it shows something impossible, okay? It shows the coast of Antarctica 300 years before anyone supposedly discovered it. How in the is that possible? The map doesn't just show that a southern continent exists, it shows the...
Oh my god, chat. They had the ability to go to Antarctica before we even had boats available. Did you know that?
The actual coastline of Antarctica, accurate to within miles.
What?
Well, what's the big deal about that?
That's kind of strong.
The coastline has been buried under ice for millions of years. No one in 1513 should have known what it looked like, or how to find out what it looked like. Piri Reis noted on the map itself that he compiled it from ancient sources, some dating back to the 4th century BC, which is a long time ago.
Wow.
So that's really confusing. And in 1960, the US Air Force analyzed the map and confirmed that its geographical details match seismic surveys of the actual bedrock beneath Antarctica's ice sheet. How did they know that? I don't know. I'm asking you. Do you know?
God!
Are you a science person?
Jesus!
Get on my comments.
Aliens!
So think about what that means for all of us. Someone thousands of years ago mapped Antarctica when it was covered in ice. Someone with technology to survey an entire continent from above. It seems like, at least. Unless they had one of those balls from Waterworld and they got real deep down in the ocean and it was like, or whatever, and there was a squid. Fortunately, it gets even more strange and bizarre. The Oronteus Phineas map from 1531, not 1513, the Piri Reis map. This is a completely different one. It shows even more detail of the southern land recently discovered. Rivers, mountain ranges, coastlines, a swastika? Why they put a swastika on that?
Because Hitler
find out later in Chapter 2. With some of these geographical markers matching the hidden topography beneath miles of ice that modern scientists only discovered with ground-penetrating radar in the 90s. How? Now, critics, there are critics of everything, they say it's a coincidence. It's a coincidental resemblance to a mythical continent that does not exist. Or Oryntheus, if that is his real name, was just a goofy goober. Which that's possible, to be honest. It kind of makes sense. People were really good at making shit up. But they do seem to be more like precise geographical surveys of landscapes that have been hidden than they do just made up nonsense.
How many people did that? Like, they would just say, like, yeah, you know, I'm the king's son, and then people just believe him. How many times does that happen?
The Voynich manuscript or something like that. Anyways, how about Lake Vostok? There's more. 2.5 miles beneath the ice of Antarctica lies a lake the size of Ontario, which is a province in Canada. This lake has been cut off from the surface world for over 15 million years. I'm gonna start referring to us as surface dwellers in the surface world. Lake Vostok, not speculative at all, it's real. Russian scientists spent 20 years drilling a hole to reach it. They finally broke through in 2012, and what they found was very enlightening from a science perspective and how we understand life on Earth.
Holy.
The lake itself is pristine, untouched. It's a perfect time capsule from an age when Antarctica was green and warm, and that's not a conspiracy. It was at one point green and warm.
That's what they want you to think.
The holy relic. Yeah! The water samples that they collected from Lake Vostok contained bacteria that evolved in complete isolation and developed survival mechanisms unlike anything else on Earth. There aren't many organisms that develop in complete isolation, okay? These organisms lived in total darkness, under crushing pressure, with no oxygen, and somehow they thrived for millions of years. How in the is that even possible?
Aliens.
Scientists discovered at least 17 different species of microbes in the waters of Lake Vostok. Some represent entirely new branches of the tree of life. They feed on chemicals instead of sunlight. They transform metals in ways we're still trying to understand, and they can survive in conditions that would instantly kill any surface life from us weak surface dwellers. Now, this beyond the secrets of Antarctica has pretty staggering implications. For example, if life can exist in Lake Vostok's impossible environment, life can probably exist in other impossible environments, like on other planets. Bing! Ring ding ding! Lake Vostok is just one of over 140 subglacial lakes that have been discovered beneath Antarctica. We have no idea what is in the others, and we can't access most of them. You can't get a drill bit that long. Believe me, I've asked. There could be entire ecosystems down there.
I heard they can only drill about 2 to 3 kilometers. That's how long they are, when to the point where basically they can't make it any longer because it breaks so easily. When they go past a certain point, there's no point in drilling. Is it 1 kilometer? Well, at any rate, if they do it any longer with the drill bit, it basically breaks and they can't do it anymore.
That have evolved separately from everything we know on Earth in the surface world for us surface dwellers. Now, how about the blood falls?
Blood! Ah! Yo. Antarctica be having her periodicity.
These are real photos. What the
It's the Earth is having a period. Mother Nature is beautiful, chat.
Is going on? Oh, these? Don't worry about these. These are just blood.
Looks like a whale crashed. Yeah, this definitely looks like a whale crashed, and it's just all the amount of blood.
Waterfalls emerging from glaciers. It's just a normal thing, guys.
Oh, it looks like rust. Is that minerals? It must be minerals, right? Because it's rusty.
Antarctica's McMurdo Dry Valleys, which, if McMurdo rings a bell, you've probably seen The Thing, my favorite movie of all time, and my favorite example of cosmic horror. In this dry valley, something bleeds from the ice. The blood falls, as they're called, look like crimson waterfalls of blood. They're pouring from a glacier called the Taylor Glacier, and the red liquid stains the white ice red. And
dude, imagine you saw this in the 1600s, man. You would shit your pants. You'd be like, oh my god, there's an eldritch horror living under the ice, and it's coming out to get me, because you don't understand. You don't have, like, the deduction skills to figure it out, because you don't know how elements and iron works. You'd fucking shit your pants, man.
For over a century, nobody knew why. They were just like, that's probably
Yeah,
hell
Satan.
down there. But it isn't hell. It's somehow actually more strange than that. It is ancient seawater that's been trapped beneath the glacier for 5 million years. It's just leaking out of it, and it's red. And it isn't just old salt water. It's got living.
I'm telling you, I think Antarctica's having her period.
Things
It makes
in
sense.
Now, the red color comes from iron oxide, but the iron oxide isn't occurring from the oxidation of iron in the normal process. It's being produced by bacteria. Those bacteria I mentioned that have strange interactions with metal. They eat the metal, they feed on the metal, and then they produce iron oxide. How?
Wait, that's so cool. What if we get like that bacteria and then it eats and recycles like all the crap that we can't process, and it just eats the metal, and we have like a metal recycling plant filled with the bacteria.
How? Why?
That'd be
what
sick.
In the heck? Oh, these little
then we can use
rascals have
that
also
iron
been
oxide
sealed
again.
in complete darkness for millions of years with no sunlight, no oxygen, and no connection to the surface world. But and somehow they've just survived down there and created their own ecosystem where they can transform iron into sulfur compounds and use that for energy. The process by which they're doing this, scientists are still trying to understand. To be fair, they're really far away and hard to get to, so it makes sense as to why it's so difficult. So yeah, that's unbelievable.
Fucking cold.
These things use sulfur and iron to live, and they don't use the sun like everything else that lives. They're chemosynthetic extremophiles is what they're actually called if you want to Google those words.
Yeah, I think Antarctica is what, like 9 months of like just darkness, basically. Yeah.
Promise you won't get put on any lists. I said that. I mean,
Yeah, that
plural.
makes
sense. Lists.
Maybe even 10
lists.
months.
Okay, that's right. Lists. No, lists.
Huh?
I can't say that anymore.
Lists.
So yeah, a little blood coming out of the ground, no big deal. Scientists have also detected massive geothermal activity.
I can explain that one. That's where I live. So that's why I have, that's why no one's allowed to fly over Antarctica. I'm a very reclusive person. This is where I have streamed from. That's why my internet's so bad.
Beneath Antarctica that doesn't match any geological model of the continent.
Does that make sense?
As well. Published research shows that heat flux near the South Pole measuring twice the expected values. Now that might not sound that dramatic, but it does represent millions of watts of unexplained energy generation. Is it those little extremophile
I gotta heat my den.
chemosynthetic fellas chewing on sulfur and iron?
And all that iron is from me. It has to come to the surface somehow.
Who the f knows? Something is producing massive amounts of heat deep beneath the ice, creating vast underground hot water systems and caverns that we're only beginning to map. Ground penetrating radar and geological surveys have revealed enormous voids beneath the Antarctica ice sheet. Not small air pockets, but cavities large enough to contain entire cities. And they're not natural formations.
That's where I live.
Halo reference. There's
Chat, I'm starting to think I'm doxing myself.
spaces that have been carved out by sustained heat sources that shouldn't exist according to our current understanding of Antarctic geology. This cave is not a natural formation. The heat signatures don't match volcanic activity, radioactive decay, or any other known geothermal process. They're too large, too organized, and too purposeful, to be honest. Whatever's generating these things, this heat, it's been active for a very long time, and it's quietly reshaping the subworld, Antarctica from below. Okay, guys?
It's gonna melt Epstein's second island.
That's a bit conspiratorial, but something is going on in there, and we don't really know exactly what it is because it's so far away and so deep.
Imagine in 100 years we find out that it's all just a psyop and it's just like military underground bases up there. Sorry, down there. Yeah. That'd be sick.
And recent satellite measurements show that ice is melting from underneath at an accelerating rate, which isn't due to climate change. It's from an internal heat source that science is having a difficult time explaining, which, by the way, is how science works. That's very normal. Or it's because it's an alien under there. What haven't you seen the thing? Some pretty odd things going on in Antarctica, let's be real. I think I might go to check it out. Just kidding. Time to venture into darker territory.
It's a volcano. I think you'd be able to explain away a volcano, I think. Yeah.
So the purpose of Act 1 was to show you some very interesting things in regard to Antarctica that are completely real and we have a hard time explaining. Act 2 is more of that, but like a lot crazier.
We can't say conspiracy theory.
1938 and 1939, Nazi Germany conducted a massive expedition to Antarctica, and
Dude, look
they
at them in
weren't
their
there for the
shorts.
scenery. They were there for the vril. They were on their way to Hyperborea. This operation was led by Captain Alfred Richer. He led it aboard the ship the Schwabenland. Okay, guys, you've probably heard of Schwabenland. These fellas on this expedition systematically mapped over 350,000 square kilometers of
They all did that while they were like fighting everyone else, or was that before?
Arctic territory, flying reconnaissance missions,
I don't know what
dropping thousands of metal Nazi markers bearing swastikas to claim the land for
Neuschwabenland.
the Third Reich.
New
Schwabenland. New Schwabenland. New Schwabia. What the f is Schwabia? Da wo man zusammen große Worte sind da. Simo
Bro, that is not German.
alle irgendwann wieder in. They called this area that they put their little markers down on New Schwabenland, or New Swabia, which is a region in southern Germany and Bavaria, I'm pretty sure. It's where my family's from.
Schwaben.
All right, guys,
Schwabenhof.
And this wasn't a small scientific expedition. It was a territorial conquest. The Nazis big into territorial conquests. So why were the Nazis up in New Schwabenland? They were there officially to establish whaling stations and to obviously just secure more territory for Germany. But some people theorize they may have built something much darker around these documented facts. The theory is that the Nazis discovered warm water areas heated by geothermal vents and established a secret base called Base 211. That's the theory. And according to this theory, Base 211 became a refuge for high-ranking Nazis after the defeat of Germany in 1945.
That's where Hitler's frozen. Die Glocke! The bell!
Development Center for Advanced Technology, including the drill-powered flying bell, the Acorn. Have you seen this? Have you seen this?
No.
I haven't seen it.
No.
But I've seen of it. I've seen it around or whatever. This is what people believe Base 211 looked like, a secret Nazi hideaway in Antarctica or New Schwabenland. All right, is it real? I'm not sure. We do know that they went up there. Okay, we do know that, and they put their little things. I believe some of them are still up there. There is more documented evidence post-war, by the way, of U-boats and submarines turning up where they shouldn't necessarily have been, and some people believe that they stopped in Antarctica on their way to Argentina.
Where's Yulia Petrova today, chat? Yulia Petrova, where are you? Are you okay? Were you allowed to do this? To take pictures?
I don't know. It's a pretty deep rabbit hole. This video is more just about Antarctica. Now on to post-war. In 1946, just 1 year after the Nazi-German surrender, the United States launched Operation Highjump under Admiral Richard E. Byrd. I've talked about this multiple times on my channel, and everybody knows this. And most people have heard of this story. There was a fairly large scientific expedition, a massive military operation involving 4,700 personnel, 13 ships, 33 aircraft, doing what was officially described as a training exercise that was just remarkably well armed. The operation was planned to last 8 months, but it ended abruptly after just 8 weeks. Official reports cite harsh weather conditions and equipment failures, but the sudden...
I don't know how they could afford to just go to Antarctica so frequently. That's what kind of blows my mind.
Termination of something so large scale has fueled decades of speculation. The theory, and people often cite alleged statements by Admiral Richard E. Byrd, okay? They say he encountered hostile forces or advanced aircraft. There's a very famous story of him, you know, being taken by a UFO into the middle of the earth, into the hollow earth, and speaking to white Nordic aliens that had swastikas all around them and saying, "You can't."
Pippa was right!
It's over. You need to be a good guy. So Operation Highjump, totally real, very strange, but it's what people often cite in statements by Admiral Byrd after the event. That is what the real mystery is. There is allegedly a secret journal, a secret diary that details Admiral Byrd's encounter with white Nordic aliens that took him into the hollow earth that was only accessible through Antarctica. It was beautiful, green trees, green grass, blue skies, better something from the day I died. With big, white, tall aliens, long, beautiful hair, and there's just swastikas everywhere, and they say...
Weren't the Nazi Germans, like, on a lot of drugs, too? I feel like this is just honestly kind of a freaking... Yeah, this is a fever dream of, like, drugs.
Telepathically, of course. Do not use nuclear bombs. We are not Nazis. We are aliens.
We're Hyperboreans.
And stuff. People attribute that to him. You know, there's apparently a secret diary, but a lot of this stuff appears to be just entirely fabricated, to be honest. But that is the story. Now, something incredible was documented during Operation Highjump. On January 30th, 1947, Lieutenant Commander David Bunger, pretty cool name, was flying a reconnaissance mission when he spotted something that defied traditional explanation of the Antarctic geography. A vast area of ice-free land with blue and green lakes in the middle of Antarctica.
Pretty.
Not trees necessarily, but a significant discovery nonetheless. This discovery was so significant that Admiral Byrd himself called it by far the most important discovery of the expedition. That's before they gave up after 8 weeks, of course. Bunger landed his seaplane on one of the lakes, and the water temperature was 38 degrees Fahrenheit, which is remarkably warm for Antarctica. And the lakes were filled with colored algae, and the surrounding area contained flowing water and a landscape that none of them had ever really seen before, and Byrd described it as looking like a landscape on another planet. Here's pictures of it. So it's called Bunger Oasis.
It looks really pretty.
It's a real documented photographed area, and it has a warm ice-free zone, one of the very few in Antarctica.
Looks like
so that's really
Greenland,
interesting.
kind of.
Now imagine them getting sucked into a hole, and their seaplane gets redirected by a flying disc, and then there's white people with long hair, and they're saying, or whatever the they say. How about what looks like pyramids?
Hold on.
Right?
Imagine tripping balls over here. Like, in beautiful water, it's clear. This is a good time. I can totally see that.
Very strange. Modern satellite imagery has revealed some intriguing features across Antarctica.
Whoa.
Users of Google Earth have documented what appears to be pyramids. Geometric structures, formations 180 feet wide by 200...
Nature doesn't make pyramids!
30 feet tall with straight surfaces that look artificial. Very strange things to see in an ice continent. Plus, the formations seem to remain ice-free in spite of Antarctic conditions. They're too regular and too geometric to be natural formations. And unfortunately, they're too isolated and inaccessible to be investigated properly, especially not by the public.
It was aliens. It was aliens. There's no way.
Something also disturbing is when people try to verify the coordinates of these formations online, they often find the locations have been removed, the images have been removed, just across the board information.
Yeah, but why did they let them take pictures in the first place? They would zap them out with their lasers. Yeah.
Has been removed from public access or has been digitally obscured when it comes to these geometric things in Antarctica. Also, Antarctica has become a bit of a hotspot for UFO sightings. Research station personnel, pilots, and tourists have all reported unusual phenomena, which is just kind of normal now. Disc-shaped objects emerging from the ice, lights moving at impossible speeds, structured objects caught on security cameras, things like that. Bizarre, unexplainable things. In the world of the Antarctic pyramids and Antarctic UFOs collides. In 2018, a Google Earth user claimed to have discovered what appeared to be a massive entrance in the Antarctic.
That's where I live! They took a picture outside my damn house! These frickers! Dude, no, we gotta stop watching this video right now!
Antarctic ice. And when people tried to verify the location, they found that the coordinates had been removed from public access, and images of it had been digitally destroyed. But luckily, I have one here in this video.
Is that his dog?
Probably, I don't know.
This dog kind of looks like him, low-key. No, like, actually kind of looks like like
I have one here in this video.
Especially when he squints.
Probably, I don't know what Tara put up there. Thank you, though.
You don't
Tara.
have a doormat? Why do I need a doormat? What? I'm the only person going in there.
And aside from that, scientists have also detected
Who's gonna visit me,
strange
the
radio
fuck?
signals emanating from beneath the ice. An experiment called the Antarctic Impulsive Transient Antenna experiment recorded unusual radio
I need a Circassian team.
bursts coming from under the ice that don't match any known natural phenomena. And to this day, those signals appear to violate our current scientific understanding of particle physics. These radio waves are being detected from below the horizon, which is not possible to detect radio signals from below the horizon. I don't know a lot about particle physics, to be honest, but it's just bizarre. What the f is happening, and why don't more people
how
talk?
do they work,
Pardon me for continuing to connect all of these theories, by the way, but the alien geometry radio theory connects to the Nazi theory as well. Some geniuses,
telling you, man,
theorists
something's going
propose
on.
that the advanced technology that was allegedly developed at Base 211 during World War II was actually reverse engineered from extraterrestrial crafts. And these geniuses suggest that Antarctica serves as a kind of neutral zone where world governments could interact with alien civilizations.
It's like The Simpsons. They have like this international base where they talk about like certain things that would explode people's heads in public. I'm telling you, I think, like, this is a little bit of a long little tangent, but I think Men in Black was onto something. But they only made that because it's so ridiculous that people wouldn't be like, oh, it's not real. This isn't, like, actually what happens, but it's actually what happens. Yeah, Men in Black is a real documentary. We have
Hidden
aliens.
completely from the
It could be you, and you don't even know it.
public view and beneath the ice.
Yeah.
There isn't really a lot of credible evidence, but there is consistent reports of unusual aerial phenomena and some very unexplained, unexpected things.
Yeah.
And it does make sense. If you were to cast aside all doubt, humans, aliens on the same planet, let's say, and
I 100%
to prevent
believe
worldwide hysteria, because I know I'd be hysterical.
Maybe there's smugglers in my chat that are aliens, and they know they're aliens. They just don't say it, and they like my content. That's why they want to blow up the Earth.
If some alien
Come to
showed up, I'd be like,
Brazil.
ah! Ah! No, I'd handle it, dude. I've been prepping with my little bro here. I would offer him to them to prevent hysteria.
I do think there's a theory out there that the reason why aliens don't come is that they have shown themselves to people that they've studied that they know can handle it through, like, you know, studying them and like thinking about how they would react, and then, like, you know, they have like brain zapping powers, so in case it doesn't work out, like, they lose their memories temporarily, and, like, you know, like in the Men in Black thing. But they have this ability to, like, deduce who is worthy of trust. Yeah, and nobody can break it.
Just hang out with them in Antarctica. Just hang out with them in Antarctica. Just don't even worry about hanging out with them, like, at Trump Tower or whatever the you know, at Mar-a-Lago or Wendy's or some shit. I don't know, Disneyland. Hang out with them where nobody can see, and then there will be no problems, because no one will see. The public will not know.
Give us your Big Macs, or we will riot.
And it will all be fine. There's also the hollow Earth theory, which I need to make an entire video about this.
Wait, no. This is a famous Russian cartoon. Neznayka? Dude, this show fucked me up when I was a kid. I watched this when I was like 3 or 4 years old. The hollow Earth theory, where it's like the parallel universe inside of the Earth where people, like, no, it wasn't the Earth, it was a moon. The moon is hollow. That was it. It wasn't the Earth. Excuse me. Neznayka was a little what is it called? Liliputan. What was that word? Lilliputian? God damn it. What was it? Lilliputian? Lilliputian? Very small? Lilliput. Okay, anyway, a Lilliputian or Lilliputian, however you say it, they went to the moon and fell through, and then they go into a parallel universe where there's people, not a parallel universe, but a parallel world where there's people that are also Lilliputians who live inside of the moon. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of really interesting sub-stories in and around the hollow Earth that
I watched the show when I was like 5, and
they're interesting.
I thought
Let's
it
be
was
real.
like,
they're very
crazy.
interesting. Hollow Moon, already talked about that.
Yeah.
It's scientifically explainable. But the most enduring theory in regard to Antarctica is probably the hollow Earth theory.
What the fuck? Look at that.
The theory that suggests our planet contains a habitable inner world, which is accessible through openings
I
at the
believe it.
poles. One in the south,
Put my hands
where
up. I
Admiral
believe
Byrd flew his little suppository craft in, and one at the north. There are several pieces of evidence that geniuses point to when discussing the Hollow
I'm a
Earth.
genius.
Admiral Byrd's alleged alien encounters, number one, unusual aurora phenomenon in Antarctica and magnetic anomalies that can cause navigation equipment to malfunction, and satellite imagery that shows
Bermuda Triangle's the same way. That's where the aliens talk as well in the Caribbean, and they have curry goat. Yeah, with all the Jamaicans.
missing data around both poles. So it's like, they're hiding it. Ah! Good.
Yeah!
I don't want to know about that shit. I'd rather just be a
I'm telling you, people's heads would explode if you tried to explain to them that there's aliens. Like, they already can't handle, like, people of different colors in their country, okay? Like, people's heads explode half the time, alright? People are stupid. If you're trying to explain to them that there's aliens and they're green, oh my god, man.
on and just love my family and stuff, you know? Life ain't that
I don't
bad.
want to think
need to
about
know
this.
aliens. By the way, we checked. The poles are blurry on Google Earth. It's missing blurred data. I'm not sure. That's not what poles look like. I don't assume they look blurry, okay? I don't think you go there and it's all blurred out. There's a lot of blurred spots on the South and North Pole. I don't know. I mean, I guess I know why. Military installation or whatever. Who's gonna be like, what? There's like, you can see military bases in the United States and in, like, what?
Can you though? I thought Area 52 was blurred. Yeah, I don't know. Like, okay, hold on. I'll maybe I can explain this away with my stupidity. If you're some foreign entity that wants to spy on America, the satellite, there's not a lot to stop you. So why would you hide it on Google? But like Area 51's kind of a big deal. Because then people will start speculating, and those are average people. Area 52 is a WoW server. Sorry, my brain is WoW. My brain is brain rotted from World of Warcraft. I meant to say Area 51, not Area 52. You know what? Whatever I said, just say 51. That's what I'm saying.
Don't blur that. You're gonna scare me. You're gonna scare the host. Now, of course, scientists explain the blurring as a limitation of satellite orbits, but
in that specific spot, really? Really? Okay.
I and my fellow geniuses interpret these gaps as evidence of hidden openings to the Hollow Earth and/or
absolutely.
Okay, guys. And the Hollow Earth
in the very specific spot. I don't know.
Isn't really even a new idea. The Greeks had the concept of Hades. The Buddhists believed in Agartha. Human cultures for a very long time have imagined vast worlds beneath the feet.
Sick,
us poor
dude.
surface dwellers. And Antarctica, with its unexplored depths beneath miles of ice, provides the perfect canvas for this dream, this hidden world of monsters or whatever. So the Nazis went to Antarctica. Operation Highjump really happened. Satellite imagery shows missing data on the visual appearance of Antarctica from the satellite view. There is things that
that's just the sun refracting. Yeah, this is definitely not some mega laser that's beaming out into the freaking laser into the satellite where you can't see anything.
View.
Yeah,
There is
sunflare.
things that
Right.
defy particle physics and our understanding of it in terms of hearing radio waves. Ding, 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 ding.
I'm a radio
Lots of
wave.
weird stuff going on.
Technically.
There's also the ice wall theory, which I think deserves its own video because that is like a.
Ooh.
There's some. I could probably get into contact with a.
It's Game of Thrones.
I know a pilot
Look at that.
who believes that that's a legit thing. Who's seen it apparently, allegedly.
Allegedly. He can't. Dude, YouTube instantly demonetizes this shit. You can't even talk about it. You know what sucks? I remember back a long time ago, back in like 2014, I went on a binge of conspiracy theories because I thought it was really fun. And now those videos got wiped the fuck out. I will never find them again. Nobody's ever re-uploaded them. They're lost to time. And you're never going to see them again. And I think that sucks.
The scariest part of all of this to me is the amount of resources that are contained in the continent of Antarctica. In 1991, a bunch of countries signed the Madrid Protocol, and that protocol banned all mining in Antarctica until 2048. And that's just 20.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Wait, we're gonna have the Antarctic wars or some shit in 2048. Are you kidding me? Wait, that's so soon. What? We've got 23 years left, chat.
23 years away.
No
and when that
shot.
treaty expires, a vote of 75% of signatory nations could potentially open Antarctica up for resource extraction. So a lot of the caginess and secrecy.
America is gonna smell some minerals and it's gonna bully everyone off of it. Mark my words.
And desire to go there makes more sense when you consider the following. Antarctica contains an estimated 200 billion barrels of oil, which is more than...
How many billion?
Sense when you consider the following. Antarctica contains an estimated 200 billion barrels of oil.
200 billion barrels. Holy shit. That's a lot of oil. Hell yeah, brother.
Oil, which is more than Saudi Arabia.
But like realistically, what's stopping America from going to get that oil, or Russia for that matter, or any other superpower? Maybe the oil is the aliens. Like really, come on, like what is really stopping them? Like how difficult would it be? Is it because this extraction's difficult? Like come on, it can't be that hard, right?
Mineral wealth includes gold, platinum, rare earth elements, neodymium, little tiny alien bacteria that can turn iron into sulfur and iron oxide. Plus, coal reserves there dwarf our existing deposits, and Antarctica holds 70% of the world's fresh water locked in ice. Wow. It's an unbelievably valuable source of resources. It's potentially priceless. So there's the preventatory measure of the Madrid Protocol, and on top of that, current extraction costs make it economically unviable to utilize Antarctica for resource extraction. Because if it was real, you know, it's gonna happen eventually. But why is there a massive military presence? Why are there nations positioning themselves for 24?
Because they want that damn oil, brother. What are you talking about? That's right.
If resources aren't even accessible, why do people care so much about Antarctica, aside from it being a desolate place and them wanting to do experiments up there for desolate stuff? Why not just do it in my backyard and pay me something? I'll let you do it if you pay me.
Fair.
It's not nearly as cold in my backyard. Just come on. I'm kind of the Clint Eastwood of conspiracy.
He, for some reason, went on a Brokeback Mountain rant with literally no context. Wait, is this his editor?
Conspiracy theories. You want to know why? Apparently, the year that Brokeback Mountain came out, it was reported that Clint Eastwood hadn't actually seen the movie. Therefore, he would not vote on it, which would eventually prevent Brokeback Mountain from receiving a nomination for Best Picture of the Year at the Oscars. And much like Clint Eastwood, I also don't want to spend my professional time watching men kissing. Just kidding. It's my favorite thing.
I love watching people kiss. I mean, men. Yeah.
By the way, it is possible to go to Antarctica if you want to. If you're not a military guy or a researcher of some kind,
I don't believe that.
You can go as a tourist. There are ways to get there. You're looking at tens of thousands of dollars minimum, but the cost to get in isn't the real barrier. It's the actual permits to get in. Every commercial operator must work through IAATO, the International Association of Antarctica Tour Operators. And through that, only 100 people are allowed ashore at any time from cruise ships, and every landing site must be pre-approved and every activity must be monitored. So you're allowed to explore Antarctica about as much as you're allowed to explore North Korea.
I was literally about to make that analogy. They only let so many people in to North Korea, and then they like literally lick your taint up and down repeatedly, checking if you have a phone on you to check if you are going to take pictures. I'm sure there's military advantages to situations in Antarctica. That's why people spend so much money keeping it a police zone. North Pole has a similar issue. No, it's because there's aliens and they have to push them back. That's why.
like that. You're taking a
You
carefully
guys are overthinking
choreographed
it.
tour of
It's not because of like military position mumbo jumbo. You guys are overthinking it. I know you guys are so smart. You guys know how military works. Me, an intellectual knows that they're keeping back all the aliens and keeping them in line and pointing sticks at them. I'm smart.
exactly
You're not.
what you are allowed to see. Now, if you think you can charter your own expedition, you'll need permits from your home country, environmental impact assessments, proof of insurance that most companies won't provide, with search and rescue guarantees that are unbelievably expensive. Antarctica is a system that is designed to keep...
To be fair, that part makes sense. Like, you get stuck there, you're probably gonna die. And if they have to go and get you, it's gonna cost a lot. I can understand that part.
Average people out, and it seems like for reasons that are suspicious and confusing, not exactly environmental reasons. The biggest fortress in Antarctica is not a geometric shape of aliens or some kind of military base from the United States. It's the legal fortress there. 7 nations have claims on pieces of Antarctica: Argentina, Australia, Chile, France, New Zealand, Norway, and the United Kingdom. Some of these claims are overlapping, which could cause international incidents, but they don't, because of Article 4 of the Antarctic Treaty that freezes all territorial disputes as of the time. You notice that I didn't mention that America had a claim, or Nazi Germany had a claim, or the Russians, even though they're all there. Well, the Nazis aren't. They're gone. It's because nobody can officially own Antarctica, but there are 7 nations who claimed it first, who kind of get to act like they do own it when it comes to controlling their sectors. It's
because the aliens own it. See, Chad, I am so above in IQ in reading into this that you just don't understand unless you put yourselves into my head.
Legal maze. It's very confusing. So let's say you want to investigate something in the British Antarctic territory. You need permission from the UK. But if the UK doesn't officially own it because of the treaty, then they don't really have any control, but they control access because of their claim, but other nations don't recognize the claim because of the treaty. I don't understand it. It's very difficult to understand.
It's very complicated geopolitics. Anyway, I can boil this down. So you have to get permission from the big alien president that lives in the middle, and then that alien president calls up Trump, and he's like, beep boop, beep boop. All right, I think this guy's kind of weird. Mr. Trump, you can't let them in. Then Trump goes in, boom, and he says, no, you can't go to Antarctica. And you're like, damn it, fuck, maybe next year. And then you do it again, and then Trump's like, no. Boom, you're asking too many questions. Because the big president alien guy says that you can't go, and that's why everyone's like, fuck this guy.
And you just can't get permission to go because a bureaucratic deadlock. It's perfect for keeping people out. Oh yeah, China's also there, and they've been rapidly expanding from 0 to now 5 Antarctic bases just in the last few decades. They call it research, but it looks like resource mapping. It's exactly what they did in
well, you
what
can't
they're doing
say
in Africa.
that.
The U.S. operates 3 year-round...
There's probably scientists there who are like, hey guys, we're gonna go... Looks at paper. Map the penguins over there, and then the other nations are like, but there's no penguins over there, and they're like, there's gonna be some in the future. We gotta make sure that there's penguins over there in the future. And then they're like, wait, what?
Stations and flies military cargo planes to Antarctica regularly. Russia maintains several bases and conducts operations that have
that is a big base. Look at that thing. Looks cool. It looks like something out of Star Wars.
Bases and conducts operations that have nothing at all to do with penguins.
They
don't exactly seem like research programs. It's occupying forces maintaining strategic positions, waiting for 2048 when they can extract resources. It seems like. McMurdo Base, by the way, is the largest research station in Antarctica. It is operated by Raytheon, which is a defense contractor.
Of course it is. Of course it's a defense contractor. What else would it be? No, we're just peaceful scientists. Yeah, for sure.
Behind advanced weapon systems. So, why is the biggest research base in Antarctica operated by a defense contractor?
It's like if Honeywell was like part of it. Yeah, Honeywell, the ones that make ballistic rockets and shit.
And we'll never, born secret and all that. So when someone tells you Antarctica is off limits for environmental protection, immediately make fun of them and say, if so, then why does the legal framework look exactly like the framework that you would want to create if you wanted to maintain exclusive access to something incredibly valuable while realistically being able to keep everyone else locked out? Ask them that and do it in like a mocking voice. Antarctica is not protected by international law. Antarctica is controlled by international law, the globalists. But unfortunately, if you do make fun of them, you might have to hear a witty retort. They're gonna say something like this. Antarctica isn't actually just another continent. It is a living climate control system for the entire planet. Antarctica contains, like the guy in the video earlier mentioned, 70% of the world's fresh water locked in ice. And if that ice were to melt, global sea levels were to rise, and if the Antarctic weather were to shift, the entire planet would feel it. Plus, the ecosystem in Antarctica is incredibly fragile. For example, a single footprint in the wrong place could remain visible for decades, and the continent hosts tons of unique microbial communities that have evolved in isolation for millions of years, potentially holding keys to medical breakthroughs that we haven't even been able to imagine yet, nor access in any other part of the world. Of course, it's a valuable area that governments around the world take very seriously because they have, you know, the right things in mind. They actually want to take care of the people, and Antarctica has some breakthroughs. They might say that to you, and then you can just hit him with one of those.
Sucker punch him.
And they go like this. Realistically, though, even small-scale human activity can devastate different colonies of creatures, penguins and seals for that matter. Plus, the introduction of non-native species, which humans love to do, even microscopic ones, could be catastrophic for ecosystems that have no natural defenses. And because Antarctica is so isolated, it's you know, that is very realistic. And when you take into consideration that Antarctica is arguably the most hostile environment on Earth for human survival, I don't even know about arguably. I think it is. We're talking temperatures of minus.
I got into the algorithm of scientists on McMurdo and how they go outside and do scientific research. That shit blows. Like, as cool as it is to work out there, they can't leave. I'm pretty sure for like 8 months of the year, they literally have to stay there. Like, no ships can go out there forever. Like, you can't leave. Like, you die there, they put you in, like, in a, what is it called? Like a freezer? And then when that happens, when the ships come in the summer, they'll pick you up. Yeah, they put you, like, in a little chamber because they can't bury you.
120 degrees Fahrenheit and 200-mile-an-hour winds and blizzards that last for weeks. The combination of that extreme cold, hurricane-force wind, and complete whiteout conditions year-round can create situations where...
Because the aliens and the polar bears are gonna eat your corpse, you dum-dum. Are you guys insane? Yeah, just put the body outside. Yeah, so that you can attract the polar bears. Yeah, you're right.
Rescue of a person can become impossible. For example, in 2013, a Russian research vessel was trapped in ice for 10 days, and it required an international rescue effort that cost millions of dollars and put dozens and dozens of lives at risk. And those are professionals. So imagine if they let your hungry ass up there. That's not theoretical. People die in Antarctica regularly, and the logistical challenges of just operating there are...
No polar bear there? Okay, alien polar bears. You don't know what they are.
Staggering. So... there's plenty of realistic reasons aside from all the fun ones. So anyways, think what you will about Antarctica. There is definitely valid reasons to not go there. And there are some more suspicious reasons in mythology and lore that surrounds it that's very interesting. And it is inarguable that Antarctica is incredibly valuable. And the continent contains billions of barrels of oil, mineral deposits, and 70% of the world's fresh water.
Billions.
All incredibly important things. And important things make governments lie and do weird shit. So anyways, see you guys in the next video. Go to sour.gg, buy some candy. Our brand new Rocket Pop flavor with Tropical Storm, which is our most sour flavor ever, is now available with 2 other flavors of Little Guys. Go to sour.gg, buy today, and go to the Gump Club to watch this video uncensored.
Uncensored. That was really fun. I like conspiracy theories. They're fun. Chad, do you like them? I like them. Yeah, go check him out. Oompaville. Go buy his candy. The crazier, the better. I don't know. It just really makes it fun. It taps into my, like, non-intellectual brain and makes it more fun. Not very good at speaking. After I watch videos like this, my brain don't work very good. Me brain don't work very good after conspiracy theory.